Hey guys, Mr. Breen here, and in this video I'll be talking about how to calculate inflation. So calculating inflation is not an easy thing. Inflation is all prices. It's a general increase in prices, but of course prices are always fluctuating for a variety of different reasons. What we want to get at is the general sort of average price level. But we can't just average together all prices, not only because there are millions and millions of different products, but also because some products are far more commonly bought than others, and so we want to weight them much more heavily. For example, milk is an extremely common thing for people to buy, so we want to know a lot about the price of milk, but we're not necessarily going to be quite as concerned about things like, say, a gaming laptop, which isn't purchased nearly as often. So what we do in order to figure out this whole inflation business is we calculate a price index. So a price index works like this. We take a market basket of a bunch of goods we feel like average people buy. So we might say, we'll do it over the course of a year. Maybe an average family buys 100 gallons of milk and takes 10 trips to the doctor, 10 doctor's appointments, and consumes, consumes 2,000 gallons of gasoline. Their car, something like that. And we're going to add up all these prices together. We're going to add up the prices, and we get some number. Now, that number in itself may not be very useful. Okay, it may not be very interesting, but the whole point of it is to compare this number from year to year. Maybe for the school, we could have some kind of price index, high school student price index, okay, where we measure the cost of textbooks and the cost of tuition and transportation, and the cost of sports and other activities. And we add all these prices together and we get our index. If this number, whatever this is, goes up from one year to the next, then we have some kind of inflation. But if it goes down, then we would have some kind of deflation. Now, the measure that we normally use is called CPI for Consumer Price Index. So you'll hear CPI or Consumer Price Index a lot. So how do you actually calculate an inflation rate once you have a CPI? So let's do this. So let's say that CPI in year one is 150. We'll just come up with a fairly easy example. And CPI year two is 165. Just trust me, that's a 6. Okay, so the way you do this, if you needed a formula for it, you would do CPI year 2 minus CPI year 1 all over CPI year 1. Okay, so this is going to be 165 minus 150 divided by 150, 15 over 150. Hey, that's easy. That's 1 over 10. Got to make it a percentage. That's 10%. Okay. So, again, this is your formula, but really all this is a percent rate of change, right? What was the percentage change? This could be negative, right? You could do this. You could say, oh, it used to be 130, but now that's year 1. Okay, that's year 1. But in year 2, I'll do another easy one. It's 117. So this is just going to be, it's going to end up being negative 13 over 130 equals negative 10%. That's deflation.